even know where to start, but I keep replaying this in my mind. The governing body leaders not inspired by God. Now, we've seen this in the publications, right? We've seen this in the governing body leader just said it from his own mouth. We are not inspired by God. We are infallible. We make mistakes. Now, if you were to hear that, right, you would think that someone with common sense that could put one and one together and be like, hold on, something's not adding up. This math ain't mathing, right? This Holy Spirit ain't spiriting, right? If you hear a governing body leader say that we're not inspired by God, shouldn't that tell you that these men are just men running the show among other men? They tell you they're not inspired by God. So where's this information coming from? All these publications, all these doctrines, all this new light, where is it coming from if it's not inspired by God? Then who is inspired by? Who is inspired by? If it's not from God, then who else? I don't get how, I don't comprehend how Jehovah's Witnesses can hear that, right? How an adult Jehovah's Witness in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, I don't understand how a full-grown adult can hear that, oh, we are your leaders. We're your leaders. But we are not inspired by God. And we make mistakes. We don't always get it right. Shouldn't you be running to the hills? If you heard that, right? If you heard your leader, one of your leaders, if you heard them say that we're not, information we're getting, it's not from God. We don't communicate with God. What the fuck? What? I will be putting my Nikes on and I'll be out. I will be out. I will be cleaning. I will be grabbing my shit, right? If I was at a convention or assembly and heard that, right? Oh, we are your leaders. We are God's spokesmen, but we are not inspired by God, right? But we are your leaders, right? But we're not inspired, right? If I heard that, if I was at an assembly or convention, I heard that, right? I would be gathering all my shit, right? I would be sprinting to the front door. I'll be cleaning out that place better than a prune juice smoothie. Now, a prune juice smoothie will flush you out, right? I will be flushing, cleaning through all the roads to the assembly, the convention. I'll be faster than Flash, right? Just I heard, oh, governing body leaders not inspired by God. What? Oh, grab my shit. I'll be out the door. Don't say that to me. You're not inspired by God. We have nothing else to talk about. But yet, I can't fathom how these Jehovah's Witnesses, these men, they can literally, at this point, they can literally say anything. And this all started with, what's his name? Stephen Lett. When he said babies are the enemies of God, right? I personally believe that that was a little test. He probably said to the other governing body leaders, oh, watch this. These people are so dumb. They're so brainwashed. We can say anything. Watch this. I'm going to say babies are the enemies of God. I'm going to say babies are the enemies of God, and they're going to be dumb enough to listen to me. Watch this. That was a few years ago, right? That happened a few years ago when he said that. And for some dumbass reason, we still have, not we, but there is still 8+ Jehovah's Witnesses. 8+ million Jehovah's Witnesses, right? Sorry. there are 8 million plus Jehovah's Witnesses. After Stephen said, oh, babies are the enemy of God. You see, when these governing body leaders, when they know that they can say anything and that people will follow them blindly, that is when you know that the Jehovah's Witness religion as a whole, right, globally, that is when you know that they are in a true pickle, because these fuckers, they fail to think for themselves. Jehovah's Witnesses, they fail to think for themselves. So it doesn't matter what come out their mouth. Now, this governing body leader, he just said that they're not inspired by God. You would think that all 8 million plus of JWs would pick up their shit, grab their shit, and they would be done with this religion, right? Because if they're not inspired by God, Jehovah's Witnesses have to think that, where are they getting this information from? If it's not from God, then all this publication, JW.org, literally everything on JW.org, everything. If it's not inspired by God, then that must mean that it is inspired by men. And if it is inspired by men, that, my friends, is called idolatry. You see, Jehovah's Witnesses, they are now performing idolatry because they are serving men and not God. So I just can't, I can't comprehend, for the life of me, I can't comprehend how anyone could hear, oh, by their leaders from his own mouth, right, stating that, oh, we're not inspired by God, but you still want to be a part of this religious cult? Why? That makes no fucking sense. That makes no sense at all. None whatsoever. This is one of those situations, if you can't laugh, then you're bound to cry. You're bound to cry, right? And I just can't. Wow. Like I always say, this is some Twilight Zone bullshit. This is some shit you see in the Twilight. You can literally make a Twilight Zone episode out of this cult. You can make a sitcom out of it because it's hilarious, right? Well, in a sad way. It's a sad, funny. But anyway, you can make a Twilight Zone situation, TV show out of this, with a really good plot twist, right? A really good one. But for a governing body leader to have the balls, the cojones, for him to say, we're not inspired by God. Bitch, right? That's what he pretty much said. We're not inspired by God, but you still gotta serve us. Bitch. That's what he pretty much said in a nice way. You still gotta serve us no matter what. But we're not inspired by God. So they want to have it both ways. They want to eat their cake. They want to have their cake and eat it too, right? And they want to have these witnesses still drinking the Kool-Aid. But my question is, how much Kool-Aid are Jehovah's Witnesses going to drink before they get diabetes? That's a lot of damn Kool-Aid they've been drinking for decades. That's a lot of Kool-Aid, right? So eventually you would think that they would become diabetic. Eventually, right? And at this point, I feel like they're getting to that point where it's diabetic. When they're on the verge of becoming diabetic. They're on that verge. Because they are just drinking Kool-Aid nonstop. Day in, day out. Just Kool-Aid, right? But, this is like a nightmare. Because us former XJW, us former witnesses, us who woke up from this religion, right, the XJWs, we see it for what it is. Like when you take a step back and you see things for what it is, right, and not for what you want it to be, Not for what you want it. Jehovah's Witnesses, they see things for what they want it to be. But when you take a step back and see the reality of the situation, right? You can clearly see that these governing body leaders are full of shit, right? And you see that this is nothing but a man-made organization, and they are just making shit up as they go. That's what they're doing. They are making shit up as they fucking go. Sorry, listen, guys. I know I cursed a lot in some of my videos, right? I gotta apologize to you guys. With me, I can't vouch for everybody. But with me, when I feel a certain way, right? And this is a touchy subject. When I talk about this organization and when it does to its members, this is a touchy ass subject, right? So I'm gonna curse here and there. I'm gonna express myself. I'm gonna be my true, authentic self at all times, always, right? And you know, I don't know about you guys, but when you're in a bad mood and you feel strongly about something, right? And you play some music, right? You don't want to hear the clean version. You don't want to hear the clean version. You want to hear the illicit version with the curses. You want to hear motherfucker, fuck you, shit. You want to let that shit out, right? So on my channel, my page, I'm that person. I'm that person. If I feel a certain way, especially when it comes to this organization, right? If I feel a certain way, I'm gonna curse. I'm gonna say how I feel, right? I don't want to hold nothing back. I'm not gonna give you guys a PG JW version, right? I'm gonna give you the rated R version, right? The rated R Satan version, right? I'm gonna say fuck you, shit, bitch, everything, the whole nine, right? I'm gonna say how I feel. So for those of you who don't like to hear curse words, I apologize, right? But I'm being my true, authentic self. I am the illicit version of the XJW community. I'm not the PG version. You want to hear the PG version? There's other people out there, there's other channels. But if you want to hear somebody who's authentic, somebody who's raw, this is who I am. I'm apologizing to some of you guys, but this is who I am. I'm authentic, I'm raw, I curse here and there. It is what it is, right? Because I feel strongly about this community. I feel strongly about what this organization does to its members. And it's so fucking sad that they have Jehovah's Witnesses in a vice grip that they can't think for themselves. They can't think for themselves. So when I hear that governing body leaders from his own mouth, saying, "Oh, we're not inspired by God, but you still gotta serve us. We are still God's spokesman." When I hear that shit, I'm like, how does Jehovah's Witnesses? How do you not see through this? How do you not see that this is all bullshit? It's fake. How do you not see that? It should be common fucking sense. It should be common sense. I don't get it. I don't understand how this organization has millions of people in a vice grip over some fake ass, oh, you're gonna live forever in paradise earth. Oh, you're gonna see your dead loved ones again. That would have happened years ago, if not decades ago. If that was true, that would have been happened. Because witnesses need to remember that each day that passes, there are well over 100,000 babies being born each day. Well over 100,000, right? So each day that passes, that is another baby that God has to kill during the so-called Armageddon. This should be common sense. If a governing body leader says we are not inspired by God, that should be fucking common sense for any witness to wake up. To wake up. That should be common sense. I don't want to hear no excuses. There's no more excuses. Back in the day before the internet, there was plenty of excuses. Even me, myself, I would have been naive, right? Back then, before the internet. The majority of us, we still would have been blinded, right? But thanks to the internet, not just the internet, the media, the news, the CSA cases, all this shit, and not just that, now we have the own governing body leaders. They are pretty much telling their members, the witnesses, we're not inspired by God. They're telling them, oh, we don't get it right. We don't know what we're doing. We're just guessing it. We're just trying to do our best. We don't know what we're doing. We're not inspired by God. When you hear a governing body leader say that, it's like, what? That should be an automatic wake-up call for witnesses. I don't care how long you've been in it. I don't care how long you've been in it. You could have been a witness for 30, 40 plus years. But guess what? Check this out. If you was married to somebody for 40 years, right? And this person decided to cheat on you after 40 years, are you still going to play it safe and still be with that person just because you guys been married for 40 years? Or are you going to have enough self-respect, enough self-love to say, hey, whoa, you just cheated on me? We've been married for 40 years and you cheated on me? Fuck you. I'm out. It's the same scenario with the witnesses. So I don't want to hear if witnesses been in the organization for 30, 40, 50 plus years. That means jack shit to me. I don't want to hear that. Because once this organization lies, once you realize that they've been lying to you, and that your whole life was a sham. Sorry, not your whole life, but your whole time in this organization was a sham, was a lie. Once you hear that, you can't say, oh, well, I've been in the organization for 40 years. Even though they lied to me, I'm still going to remain loyal. Even though it's a fake-ass, false religion, I'm still going to be faithful to it because I put in 40 years. No, your 40 years is irrelevant. It's time to pack your shit, right? Pick up your bags and move the fuck on. It's time to move on. It's time to go on. So that could be one reason why witnesses might be a bit reluctant to move on from this organization, right? Because they can say, oh, I invested so much time. I invested 30 plus years. But if your organization has proven to you time after time that they have lied to you, that they are not God's true spokesman, that they are just frauds, if they have proven this to you, right? Why on earth would you still be loyal to a man-made organization? That makes no fucking sense. That makes no sense. I love everybody on this planet. Jehovah's Witnesses, ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, literally everybody. And I pray that everyone in this organization, in the Jehovah's Witness organization, I pray that before they pass away, there was already plenty that passed away that didn't find the truth about the truth. So going forward, the end of 23, approaching 2024, I pray that people can do their own research and see the truth about this organization. Find out the truth about the truth. I pray for that. I pray for that. If one of your leaders tell you that they are not inspired by God, read between the lines. Read between the lines. Even though it's a hard pill to swallow, they are telling you who they are. They are not inspired by God. So who are they inspired by? All this information that you're getting, where is it coming from? If you are Jehovah's Witness watching this, just use your head. Just use your head. Think critically for once. Please think critically. Please. You are in a man-made organization, and you know what? You might know this deep down. You might have had some doubts deep down, right? And if you're watching my page, believe me, you are here for a reason. You're watching this for a reason. Because you decided to do some research because you were having doubts. So I encourage you to do further research. Continue to do further research. And you will see why hundreds of thousands have left this religion. Like I said, I love you guys, all right? All I want people to know is the truth about the truth. If your governing body leaders are saying we're not inspired by God, if they're telling you that, believe them. They're not inspired by God, then guess what? It's a man-made organization. They have nothing to do with God. Wash your hands. You can still live, you can still be a morally good person outside the religion. A lot of witnesses have this mentality. Oh, where are we gonna go? Where are we gonna go? If we leave this religion, where are we gonna go? They have this mentality, right? Guess what? You're still gonna be on planet Earth. Surprise! You're still gonna be here on Earth. You don't have to go to another religion. You can have a personal relationship with God. What did Jesus say in the Bible? I am the truth, the way, and the light. No one comes to the Father except through me. That is in the book of John. He never said you need to be a part of a religion. You don't need to be a part of religion. It's between you and Christ. Don't feel like you have to rely on these men, because guess what? These men have let you down time after time after time. The governing body leaders, they have continuously been changing their doctrines. So you can't rely on them. That's obvious, right? And they're not even inspired by God. Guys, Jehovah's Witnesses, ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, I love you guys, all right? I love you guys. And I just want witnesses to wake up from this cult. Read between the lines. Your governing body leaders are telling you they're not from God. They're not inspired by God. Believe them. You don't need them. You can still be a good person outside this religion. You can still have good morals outside this religion. All you need is you and Christ. That's all you need. All right, guys, I'm going to end this video on that note, all right? But it just pains me to see that witnesses are trapped in this. It makes no sense. They're telling you, your leaders are telling you they're not inspired by God. Wake up and smell the coffee. Please. Please. I'll see you guys on the next video, all right? I love you guys.